What's going on? I'm Coach Darnell, and this is the Step Up Podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Step Up Podcast. He's your host, Nelly. Got home team, Ali in the building.
What's going on?
I got a special guest with me, Darnell. Talk to me,
What's
a.k.a.
going on,
Coach Darnell. Mr. VP, Mr. I hit bombs sometimes. Talk to me, Darnell.
What's going on, guys?
Talk to me about the experience of getting into the travel ball world. You're who you are, you know? How'd you start?
So I played Delaware State University. I always coached or whatever, like growing up, even as like in high school. So I kind of coached for Colossal and stuff like that. So like that organization. Yeah, throughout, coaching. I don't know. It was kind of like, I don't want to say it's easy. Like I kind of like just showed kids the way I used to train growing up. And like I don't know. Like I always tell like kids all the time, like, hey, like, I'm a baseball player too, and you're a baseball player too. I don't care if you're 8, 9, 10 years old. Like, just work as hard as you can, and like, this is how we're gonna do it, and you're gonna try to do it my way. Like, try to do it my way. I get it. Like, you're younger than me, but like, you're still gonna try to do it that way anyway, even though I'm older. So like, it's the kind of type of coaching that I do. So like, I kind of don't give them an excuse when they're young and stuff or whatever. So that's kind of always been like my thing. So then so I started coaching high school. Then boom, once I got done with college, I kept coaching with that same organization, grew from there. And then, I don't know, it was cool. So, like, I was cool with the head of that organization. And he was, like, bouncing me around the whole organization and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, I'm doing lessons. And actually, one of the CS99 TV guys, he hit me up, and it was Rob, right? So I think Rob all the time.
Rob slided in your DMs, huh?
Well, like, we were out. He asked me to come out and whatever, and he recorded me, like, in one of the, Colossal games or whatever. And he was like, dude, you ever think about recording some of your lessons, man? I'm like, no. No, like, not really. And he was like, bro, you should start recording it. Like, I'll send you some guys that do lessons. And you don't shut up. So, like, you'd be perfect for content. So, like, that's what, yeah. So I started doing that. And, like, he kind of, like, helped me out with that stuff. So that's kind of how.
How long ago was that? Like, when did you start making content?
That was, like, what? 2-3 years ago now. I think we're like in my third year now.
So you've been doing content for 3 years solid now?
Yes. Yeah, this is on my third year now. So yeah.
What made you get into training kids? Obviously you said you were a coach, high school coach. Were you a travel ball coach at one point?
I was a travel ball coach for the Colossal team. Yep. Okay,
for the Colossal. So what made you get in? Kind of leave coaching a little bit, because I'm assuming you had to walk away from one to do another, right?
So. What got me into coaching, you're saying?
No, I'm saying what got you into training.
Oh, what got me into training?
Where was the transition? Because I was, like, you said you started coaching in high school.
Yes.
So, like, on the side of playing, you were giving lessons.
So, all right, cool. So, like, if you really want to know, like, how it actually
I really
happened.
want to know.
Okay, perfect. Like, I don't know. I guess it gets deep, so I don't want to say, like, the deep.
We want to get deep here. This is the Step Up Podcast. Okay. We get deep.
So, I don't know. Like, I felt like I was able to, I don't know, I guess I could see that I can develop players and stuff like that. So I was noticing that the head of the organization was like, hey man, like he was bouncing me around the whole like organization. Like I wasn't sticking with one team, and he was promising me, promising the parents, oh, you're gonna get Coach Darnell, you're gonna get Coach Darnell, he's gonna train with you, blah blah whatever. So I'm noticing, I'm like, dang, like I'm busting my butt out here, training these guys, trying to get these guys really, really, I'm trying to get these kids really dang good. Like I'm gonna give it my all, for whoever like wants to work with me.
But you were working with all different age groups. Sorry, Coach, but like all different age groups.
Mm-hmm.
What is your to you? Obviously you know yourself. Anybody watching you could, predict your favorite. But what's your favorite age group? What do you feel comfortable coaching?
I like training with like the younger age groups. So I like honestly when they start at 9. Okay. For like training, like lessons 1-on-1, because they really understand like being competitive. That's when I don't know what it is, but like they like wake up, they're like, dang, I want to be better than the guy that's actually playing shortstop, on my team. So I'm like, perfect. That means you got to get to work, right? At 8, like, all right, they don't understand what an error is. I got to like explain that to them. I'm like, I know you got on base, but the only reason you got on base is because that shortstop or whoever made a mistake. So it means your average should be going down.
Yeah.
Now I tell that to them. Obviously, they're 8 years old, but like I try to get them to understand the game right away.
It's fundamentals.
Yeah, try to get
Yeah.
them. But I mean, you'd be surprised sometimes when they're young. Like, oh, he got on base, and they give them the hit. I'm like, if it's me, I'd be upset. I know everybody's like, oh, good job, little Johnny. You got on base. If it's me, I'm like, dude, you didn't get a hit. Like, that's an error. Like, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
You got to get that ball in the air, get in the gap. All right?
So,
And
like,
we got to work hard to do that. So,
if you, to me, obviously I'm a baseball coach and all that. 8U from 12, not even 12, I'm lying, from 11 and under, you're coaching baseball. These kids' IQ are not great. They're still afraid of the baseball. Some of them are afraid to catch the ball.
Right.
Don't know where to go in certain situations. And right now, I feel like Little League's a dying sport. It's sad because I believe in Little Leagues. But going in 8U, 9U, 10U, and 11U, you're actually teaching the game of baseball, and hopefully they retain it, and understand it. Because if a butterfly flies by, his attention's gone from you. So how do I say
Can I
this?
ask both y'all a question? Because it's like,
No.
there's like, with coaching kids, and we kind of touched on this with the Pottstown guys, like keeping the attention. What is something that when you are, because you've worked with younger guys, older guys, at whatever level, what is something you can speak or preach or teach these kids? How are you teaching them to keep their focus, to keep their attention in the game, their mind in the game, leave the social media behind, leave what your parents said to you behind? Like, bring their attention to just the game.
I mean, the older boys, it's simple with the older boys. You got to be relatable. You got to have, they got to respect you as a baseball guy in the beginning for them to even retain anything or even want to listen to you. So for me, it's the older guys is a little more simpler because I have a resume. I am known in baseball. So to me, telling you something, obviously, I know what I'm talking about. I got 75 first rounders. They're going to listen a little bit and obviously making it fun. I'm not going to go up there and be like, hey, why the F you're not doing this? Or why you're not swinging like Jazz? Why you're not swinging like Lindor or Bo? You're your own player. You're your own identity. There's the one thing I've learned, Dante Pichette Sr. taught me this, was there's no such thing as a perfect swing. And I didn't know that because growing up, for me, they dropped the Ken Griffey swing. And everybody wanted to swing like Griffey, and they had the whole little thing out, and everyone's trying to do it, and it didn't work. It didn't work for nobody. Same with the Reggie Jackson thing, it didn't work. But, I'll let Darnell take for the little guys, and, you tell me about it.
So, yeah, I think for the older guys, they get it more. Like, understand. So their focus can be a little bit better. You're just trying to, like I was
Sounds
telling
like
you
respect.
like before. Yeah, they get it. And you're just kind of like trying to like keep guiding them in that same direction the right way. Like, just like, hey, just keep like maintaining their focus the whole time at that point.
Yeah.
The younger guys are a little tough, right? They're like, exactly. Like, they see a butterfly. You literally got to be like, hey. Like I'm like following their eyes.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, like, come on now, stay over here. Like, you have to tell them, and they will try. They're gonna try their best. Like younger kids, like at 7, 8, 9, 10, like they will try their best for you. And I think that's the best thing ever, because you're really molding them from scratch.
Yeah.
I have no kids, and congratulations on your kid, by the way.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Cool. I don't have any kids, but I can't wait to have one coming. Like, damn, I can't. Like, I'm literally molding this player. When he was terrible at first, and now he's actually pretty decent. I can't wait to do that for my kid. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think it's pretty cool, like getting them to focus, and they just start getting it. So like, you just tell them all the time, like, hey, focus, and like really ask them questions. If you keep asking them mainly, like, just ask them the question. Like, as soon as you told them an instruction, you ask them literally the same question or a question about the instruction that you just told them. That's how you know they're.
They have understanding.
Yeah,
like
if
a
they're
test or a
understanding it,
quiz,
exactly.
kinda.
It's kind of like school a little bit. I actually kind of call it like a baseball school. I'm like, you're in baseball school in this cage.
Yeah.
So when I work with them, so I'm like, it's literally like when I'm talking to you, it's like you're taking notes. Cool. It's like I'm writing on the board and you're taking notes. How are you going to take the notes? You got to respond after me. You're going to repeat it after me. So that's kind of how I get them to focus a little bit when they're young. If they're not responding, if they're not communicating with you, I'm like, you're not writing my notes down. And I know you're not going to get this answer when I ask you it.
No,
Cool. So
that's
kinda how I
key.
get them.
Communication.
So yeah,
Communication is everything. So, I mean, Darnell, let's get into, we talked about your training a little bit. Let's get into Darnell. You as a person, what do you see yourself? Are you trying to be a trainer your whole life? Are you trying to impact the game as a coach? Do you want to be a mentor? What are you looking for in the game of baseball? Because you've obviously played this your whole life, right?
Yes.
What are you trying to do for the youth? What is your next steps?
Like, again, I'm big on like the training aspect of it. So yes, I do like want to keep training, and I want to be able to build that long-term relationship with players and hopefully get them to that next level. I'm really early on. I'm 27 years old. You know, I'm working with, like I said, I'm working with players that are 9, 10, 11. But I'm trying to like instill like a long-term process with them. So hopefully, and I tell them all the time, like, hey, like I'm not in the pros. I'm not an MLB coach. I'm not an MLB trainer yet. I mean, you know, but what happens? Why am I working so hard? Why am I pushing you so hard? Because what happens if you make it?
Yeah.
And I'm hoping you don't forget me. And you're like, hey, Coach Darnell, like my swing's not feeling so good. I'm like, hey, don't worry about it. Like I got you. Like where are you at?
I feel like we remember too, like
You know?
who built the foundational blocks of
Exactly.
who was teaching you how to swing, who was teaching you the game, the fundamentals.
Right. So like that's why I tell them like, hey, like don't forget about that. And I feel like hopefully that way I can kind of grow as a trainer. You know, hopefully in like a big stage or have
Well, you're
that
building
kind of-
relationships, right?
Yeah.
At that point, and
Yeah.
When you say training, is it like more mechanical, like you're into fielding work, like breaking down the swing? What kind of content are you majority posting?
Hitting, yeah, it's a bunch of hitting, content and stuff like that. I mean, hitting comes with a lot of things though, like mental aspect of the game.
Huge.
And then so I try to get, I really just do a lot of hitting stuff. It's my specialty. So,
well, I
getting
mean,
good swings and
hitting.
stuff.
To me, I'm a hitting coach as well. You know, hitting also translate into pitching, and it translates into a lot of things that players use. They don't understand it. Once you understand, I need to stay grounded. You need to stay grounded in a lot of things in baseball. You need to use that ground for a lot. So I think it's pretty cool that you can, you teach it one of it. And obviously, if I say, hey, Darnell, go in the outfield, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're coaching around and all that. So being on the Pottstown, let's bring this up. How'd you get on Pottstown, Coach? Because when I first came, you weren't here. Second time he was.
Yeah.
So tell me about it.
I mean, so Pottstown, they would go out, and this is the one thing I don't really like. They don't sleep at all. I'm here like, dude. They're like, hey, come out. It's 12 a.m. Like 12 midnight. I'm like, midnight? They're like, yeah, we're gonna be at the field. The field's open. I'm like, dude, do you guys not sleep at all? They're like, no, we're gonna catch Don's right after. Don's. All right. I don't even eat McDonald's like that. I guess I'm gonna get some Filet-O-Fish or something. I don't know.
Adam needs
But
a Coke.
So they would get me out there to do some cool
Coca-Cola.
content with them
Coca-Cola.
or whatever. So that's kind of how I got into it. And I don't know. I guess they like the energy I bring. So I bring a lot of energy all the time. with the
So
guys and
so
stuff.
basically what you're telling me is back home, because I'm guessing you guys are from the same area.
Yep, they're New Jersey guys. I'm in Jersey. Yeah.
All
New
right,
Jersey
so you're
boy.
the same area, so they'll call you, hey, we're running a little game. Come out 12 at night.
Dude, honestly, they'd be like, hey, like, we're going to record something. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I'm like more of like, organized kind of guy. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what time do you need me to be there? And so I'm always talking to Rob because good luck trying to get a hold of Adam. All right? Impossible. Cool. You're not getting a hold of Adam.
No,
So
Adam has a phone for looks.
yeah.
It's for looks.
Yeah. So I'm talking around. I'm like, what are we doing? He's like, aim for. I'm like, just tell me the time. Aim for like 10. Maybe 11.
I think we
geez.
both know.
All
I think
right.
we both know. Them on time is special.
Right.
Yeah.
It's special. Like today was special. Showing up on time for the podcast early.
Yeah.
Special.
All
I'm not gonna
right.
lie. That was a little different right there. I give him a trophy for that.
Maybe.
What's life like when you're not with them? Like when you're not traveling around and doing, what's kind of life like behind the camera, behind the scenes for you?
Like my
So you're
own-
schedule. You said
Yeah,
you're a schedule guy. What do you do?
Oh, okay. I'm big like on fitness and like trying to keep, take care of my body and stuff like that. So I don't know. I hit the gym for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours sometimes. So I don't know, like every day. No, but that's
love
about.
that
I don't
for
know.
you.
Me
That's
too.
really. That's really about it.
Me too. I'm
I
there.
don't know. Like, I don't
Catch
know.
me in
I'm a
LA
I'm
Fitness,
just really
2.5
baseball-
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just working.
Yeah. No, that's it. Like I just try to try to live something healthy lifestyle. I like to go out with the boys too. So I got my main boys or whatever.
Nah,
We
you
go
close.
out. I go to Philly and whatever. So.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Do you see yourself wanting to coach college, wanting to coach high school? I know we talked about it a little bit. I feel like it's a conversation for everybody because you do have a following, you do have a name in this. Do you see yourself going in that that route?
I would love to coach college. It's just like that's tough. Like I don't know. I know how that goes because when I was as a player, I was always cool with the coaches.
Yeah.
And like I would pick their brains all the time. I'd be like, dude, like how is it like whatever, And I know they're like the assistant coaches are. like they're awesome and they're gonna give it, they're all like, again, they love the game. You can tell. I mean, they wouldn't be there if they didn't like the as an assistant coach. 'Cause sometimes they're like volunteering, or sometimes they're not really getting paid as much, or depends on the college they're at, where they're at, their situation. So I'm like, dang, like that would be, I don't know. That's probably the one part that would kind of be a tough situation for me. Especially because then I would have to like leave my players too. I kind of build a relationship.
Well, you can't really, once you enter that college world, you can't be a trainer.
I guess you can, but like you're very limited with your time.
You're limited, and there's rules.
Really?
There's rules. There are rules. There are a lot of rules that you can't
certain
do.
age groups, I would assume.
Yeah, when you middle school and up, you're not supposed to be doing much with
that
those
makes
guys.
sense.
Yeah.
What age do you guys think kids should would recommend they start lifting, or like actually strength training coinciding with the mechanical hitting lessons, fielding lessons?
Well, I mean, when you see lifting and fielding is two different things. I think you should start fielding from the minute you start playing baseball.
Exactly.
You got to learn the fundamentals, and that's another thing that's dying is fundamentals. And it shouldn't, because the kids are better at baseball. They are talented. They are stronger. They are bigger. They are faster. But the one thing they do lack is the fundamental part of it.
Yeah.
They'll make the crazy play look real easy, but when the one easy one come to you, the one to you, the fundamental routine one, they'll fumble the bag.
Yeah.
That's where I think, for me, you should, the minute you're in T-ball, you should all the way up fundamentals, all the way up, even in the bigs, all the way up.
That routine ground ball or routine fly ball, it comes with footwork too. Like people don't they don't know, or like hitters especially sometimes too. Like when pitchers throw hard, they're like, oh, I can hit fast hitters. Well, yeah, you're using your instincts. You're going. You have no time to think and mess up. Same thing on the field. Oh, that ground ball, it's routine. Boom. You're like, dang. Like, what do I do? I gotta wait for this ball to get, or do I charge it? Whatever. Yeah. Like people panic, but like if you actually have that experience, or you start training, right, or get lessons, hit me up. Hit us up for lessons. But if you get, start training, you know what to do. You set your feet up, you stutter step, right? You create time to be able to get to first base, with rhythm, whatever.
Slow the game down.
Like
Exactly. Exactly. Honestly, that's perfect.
Softball player.
Being in rhythm, exactly.
It feels better when it's in rhythm,
Yeah, that's right. You are a softball player. Okay. So,
So I mean, like, let's so if you were a defensive guy and let's say a coach, right, and you had Squez, not the biggest guy in the world.
Okay.
What kind of advice would you give him? Left or right movement. What can you give that guy?
Right away, hit the gym with me 2 hours a day. Boom, get a little stronger.
Less McDonald's.
No. Honestly, Squez can.
Squez is
dude, he's
nasty.
got
I'm
great
using
hands.
I'm using
He's got
him
great
for an
hands,
example,
dude.
though.
If he was training with me right now in this moment, I mean, he's at an age where I would honestly tell him, like, we got to get strong. Like, we got to get, be able to move as fast as we can, left to right, get range, so that you can play. I would always tell him, like, dude, you should be able to play shortstop at any point in time.
So are you confident in your training ability? Like, if I bring you a John, can you make him a baseball guy? Like,
who?
A John.
Who's a John?
John.
John over here?
Yes. Yeah.
We got some work to do.
Yes.
We got some work to do. I can make John into a beast. I believe in my abilities.
Yeah.
I can make anybody into a beast. I didn't know if you were talking about this.
John. PU John. Pottstown.
Right now, in this moment.
Right now, we give you him for 6 months.
He's gonna have to live with me and do everything I'm doing, dude. Like I think I can get him.
You know what? That does touch
everything
on a
I'm
point
doing.
though.
He
with
has to literally train exactly how I want him to train. He would look like a freaking animal.
He has the tools. He understands.
No, exactly. I'm not saying he doesn't understand the game.
He just needs to bring
but
it
I mean,
out.
like I told him because he's actually lifting with me, and me and
You told me this.
and Swerve, like, and he keeps up. He's doing his thing. I'm like, dude, and I tell him all the time, like, you keep doing this, you're gonna be fine, bro. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be strong. Like, this is perfect. You just got to keep this up, like this intensity. So I think he can do it. Just
That's dope.
But,
That's funny. I wanted to have a little fun there.
Nah,
So
just messing with
let's
John.
I
knew who John was.
Let's reroute real quick. What's a moment in your life, in your baseball career, that you remember that you cherish, that till this day as a man you try to implement in your lessons or in your coaching?
A moment in my life, in my everyday life, or just like in baseball.
Baseball.
Dude, there's so many. Like, it's hard. I would say like high school baseball was so fun, especially like, I don't know, like you go up against such a wide range of players, like and most of the time it's like people that you kind of grew up with or grew up around. So like in the area. So I guess that's really cool. I don't really have a specific moment. Actually, I guess I do. I mean, I don't know. With me, I like going against the best of the best.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm going against, like, a John Mooney, do you know who that is?
Yeah, I know
I'm about to
John
say,
Mooney is, yeah.
great player. So, like, I play for Winslow Township. He played for Ocean City.
Yeah.
And it was an upset. Like, we upset him. You know what I'm saying? If he watches this, I mean, he's probably not liking that. You know? But I thought it was a great matchup. Like, I respect him so much as a player. I'm sure he respects me, hopefully, right? But like, it was such a pitcher's duel. He can hit too, so I think he got a good piece off me. I hit a home run off him. So
Good baseball.
like, it was great baseball. So like that, it was a playoff game too, and we weren't supposed to win that game.
Yeah.
Like Winslow, we were okay. Like we were, scrappy or whatever, but we weren't really supposed to win that game. You know, he's in I think he's in the league.
Yeah,
Or
he's in the league.
he's signed.
He's in the
Like this
league,
guy's he's legit.
Yeah.
So
It's
for
on
us
a
to
40
win
man.
that, I was like, dang, this was one of like this is like a whoa, like kind of like mentally prepared me for like, dang, this is literally what baseball should be. It's how intense it is.
Was there a moment in college that you kind of flipped, and it wasn't that the dream was gone of ever playing pro ball, but the reality of like, okay, the pursuing baseball through only like solely coaching? When did you have to, or what was the process like of releasing the dream of like being a big leaguer, pursuing it further?
Hardest experience, dude. That is the hardest thing. At least if you ever played baseball, like I don't know, my coach used to tell me baseball players die twice. The second you are like done playing baseball and in actual life, in real life. Wow. So as soon as I was like, dang, I didn't get, because I was talking to the Yankees, I was talking to the Dodgers, I filled out a Dodgers questionnaire and everything like that. So like that was, like it was cool and everything, and they didn't pick me. Like it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm here like, in my head I'm like, sign me for peanuts, man. Like I know I work as hard as I can and try to like compete and try to just give me more time to keep playing the sport that I love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So after that happened,
It was a difficult,
absolutely,
it's a heartbreak.
absolutely. After I didn't, get signed or whatever, I was so butthurt. I'm like, dang, like I know I'm like decent at ball. I should be able to like play at some type of next level. So I honestly stopped coaching. I stopped playing for like 2 years, right after, and I was so upset. Like, and then my high school coach, he was like, dude, start coaching or whatever. I don't want to coach. I want to play.
Yeah.
Like, you know how hard that is?
I had a similar
You know how hard
experience.
I feel like a lot of guys too.
Start coaching, play. I mean, yeah, like you can't play anymore, but start coaching. I'm
So
like,
I did the whole Yankees thing. I was supposed to be that and all that, and then I ended up obviously getting in trouble, and I lost a lot, and I felt like baseball turned their back. Got to do the Cardinals, did well, still quit because I felt like baseball turned their back on me, and I went the wrong route after that, looking for something else. It does break your heart. It's tough. It's tough as an athlete because all you do your whole life is play baseball.
Yeah.
My life was boxing, jiu-jitsu, baseball. Boxing, jiu-jitsu, baseball.
Your identity.
And
You're putting so
my
much
friends
time
were my
into
teammates.
it.
Like, I had no friends outside, so when I lost that, I was lost. I was lost as a human. I was lost as a man. I didn't know what to do. I'm 17 years old. I was gone. No idea. So it was tough. So I understand that a lot.
You guys have had to like find a new love for the game, and that's something that as a coach, it's so cool because that perspective you gained going through that is where you're able to offer these words of wisdom to these kids. Like, keep going. You have to want it. You have to work.
I realize that now, though. Like, I enjoy
I
it
didn't
now.
realize
Like,
it
I
as
get
a
the
kid.
big picture now, but like
in the moment, it hurts.
In the moment,
sucks.
definitely.
I was immature, and I was,
Yeah.
I should have kept going, obviously, but I was immature a little bit, and when I felt like it was ripped out of my hands, I feel like they did it on purpose, It wasn't like,
it was against you.
And then now as a man, doing what I do, and obviously God works in mysterious ways, brought me back to baseball, and I changed kids' lives. Obviously things happen for a reason, and I'm a big believer in that now. So that happening to me actually probably was the best thing that happened to me. I'm an impact in this game. I didn't get to do my dream, but I get to watch other kids. I get to go on TV and be like, man, look at it. He's living his dream. He has a family. He has everything, and I think that's awesome.
I've heard recently our greatest curses can be our greatest weapons.
I think people have to understand that, though, because like what we were feeling in the moment, I'm sure we're not the only ones that feel that way.
No, there's everybody.
There's a lot of kids that put their time, like blood, sweat, tears for the game every day, like try their hardest.
100%.
But like they don't make it, and like they're like obviously like or depressed or whatever happens. But like you said, like, you know what, good things can come out of it. Like this game
takes self-awareness.
It taught me a lot. It taught me how to be a player's coach that I am, and now that I'm having my own son, that he's here, I could tell him, hey, you could be your own man, but I did that route. Look where I'm at. Would have, could have, should have. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that would have, could have, should have guy. So it did mature me in a better way. And now my dream is different. And that's a big thing. Your dreams can change. You don't hit the first one, you can have another one. Right. Dreams are big, and I'm gonna keep dreaming. And eventually, I want the #1 baseball podcast in the world. Hopefully, I get that one.
Bigger
that's the
and
goal.
better.
That's the goal.
Sure. Yeah.
So let's get back into you, Darnell. College baseball, D1. It's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah,
you gotta like it. Tell me that experience a little bit.
Best experience ever.
Yeah,
bro.
Getting into college baseball right now is tough at D1. Tell me
sure.
that.
with the portal and everything.
Yeah, portal
I didn't have to experience that.
NILs.
Yeah, I didn't have to experience that. As soon as I graduated, boom, that's when they started adding it.
What year did you graduate?
2019.
Okay.
So yeah, and then it was that COVID year, almost like right after that, right?
Yeah.
And then they started adding in like what is it called, the imaging, right?
The senior year.
The
whatever.
imaging now,
Yeah,
right? They can get paid now. So yeah, that was cool. But I don't know, like again, like in Division I is cool because there's different levels of Division I though.
There's very different levels.
There's like that low
Like
tier,
leagues.
mid tier, and then you got SEC. Like
Yeah.
there's
Pros,
different
basically.
levels. But not saying that you can't like get drafted or anything like that, or or like I don't know, like you can't compete with the best. Like baseball is baseball at that level a little bit. I mean, you can't. I don't know if you're gonna really win series against an SEC school, but you can put up a fight a little bit for 9 innings with your best guys out there, your best arm out there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I felt with my baseball experience. Like I played that in lowish mid-tier Division I, so I thought I loved the experience. And then we played against Citadel or whatever, Duke. Like we didn't play against them my year. They played against them the previous year. Both played against they play against top teams. So I mean, it gets
some
tough.
experience.
It's super cool experience.
It's an experience.
But it's just the level of competition. You're like, oh crap! Like honestly, it's like it's eye opening. You're like, dang, like there are guys that are freaks at this game.
Yeah.
So I got to work harder. Like that's what you kind of. That's what I think of myself.
No,
so I'm like, dang, I got to work harder because if this guy's doing that, it's clearly possible. Like this guy, like baseball got harder like every single freaking
You know,
I
it
can't imagine
either
what it
can
is at that
intimidate
level.
you though, and you shut down, or motivate you. So like to let it be a motivating factor is driving.
Yeah, it's
encouraging.
So I don't know. That's how. I feel about
What's the
college
biggest
baseball,
advice
so.
you could give, perfect game kids, all these kids going up through these showcases and, making a name for themselves in this environment that we're in, social media, basically.
So I'm a big like go get it, work hard, like big mental, confident kind of guy. Like you gotta like work, like you have to work. Like if you want to, now at this point, like right now, building your image, you should be building your image, especially if you're trying to be big time. Like absolutely record. I tell people all the time, even like players in high school and stuff. I'm like, start recording what you do, like your training stuff. You can literally get paid in college. Like start recording your training, especially if you're legit too. I'm like, there's no way you just woke up that good. Like you definitely worked for it. So what did you do to do that? People would love to see it.
And if it's your genes, what does your family look like? What do they do?
Right. But like in baseball, I know you were training. I know you were in the cage. I know you were doing certain drills. Like record it and show it or whatever. Like try to do that. Like so, I'm like that's what I would tell players. I'm like, hey, like start like I don't know. You got to just try your best to outwork everybody. Or like I don't know. You got to think the baseball world is huge. Like you got to try your best to be the hardest working person out there, because there's probably somebody else working harder. So that's the only thing I would probably say.
Basically,
Do more.
Work hard, lose your spot. That's what he's talking about. Work hard,
it's
lose
tough,
your spot.
but
talent catches up at 14. Remember that. At 14, talent catches up. I don't care how talented you are.
I believe that.
So I mean, last thing, Darnell, talk to me. Pottstown Scout Team. What's your feeling about it? Going out there and seeing that the cameras, these kids are hitting. What was it yesterday? 10 home runs.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
In one game. It's crazy.
It's so fun.
In person, I've never witnessed like a back-to-back bomb. Like I've seen it on TV.
How many
and
was
stuff,
it?
Like 4 in a row. I've never that is insane. I've seen back-to-back bombs in person, but like 4 bombs in a row. I'm like, these guys are unbelievable. I'm like, you guys are picking the best guys, and it's like crazy to watch them play. And it's cool that they know that they're good, but they actually stay pretty humble. Like I think they just like are really cool.
They're good kids.
Yeah, they're good guys. I think CS99 TV, they're doing a great job, you know, with like doing quality stuff and giving quality stuff, you know. Like I talk to them all the time. They really go in like and think about what exactly, you know, they have to do to make like the best content or to make the experience great, not just for them or not just for the kids too.
It's for
not
the kids.
Just
For
not
the
just for the
kids
kids either. Like for the coaches too. Like they treat me well. I'm sure they treat you well. So like they do their best to make the experience like excellent. And I'm not gonna lie, it's perfect. I think they do a great job, dude. It's an amazing experience.
That's pretty awesome.
Which is probably why all the kids are, you know, behind us all the time, screaming at us like they're freaking out. It's an unbelievable. It's like a dream, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't
feels
feel
like you're
real.
literally in a dream. Yes,
It feels like, I don't know how to explain it, when all the kids are excited. It's so fun.
It feels like a dream, and I'm sure everybody's seeing that too. So I think
it is.
Makes me feel like a kid again.
It's
Like it
almost
makes me feel,
unrealistic.
brings back feelings of what being at the fields used to feel like, you know?
If there's no video, no one would believe me.
Yeah.
I promise you, none of the pro guys will. Like they would not.
feel like that's a
believe me.
thing, like
Yeah.
it's actually happening. Yeah, like it's crazy.
So it is nuts. I think it's
It's
cool.
exciting.
Well, I want to thank you being on my podcast,
Yeah,
man.
man.
This is a big deal for me. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to the Step Up Podcast with your host Nelly in the building.
Y'all are the
Shout out to
bomb.
home team Allie.
What's going on?
And then shout out to my brother Darnell, man. Appreciate you, gang.
Got you, bro.